Well, after the Seahawks reunite with Shaq Griffin, who was drafted by the team in 2017, was there with them for 4 years and then went to other teams. The Seahawks now have their defense loaded, but the Seahawks are only favored in 7 of their games this upcoming year. Are the Seahawks being disrespected though?
It's football time.
Alrighty, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the All Around Sports Podcast. Of sports are everything on this channel. I'm your host, Antonio. Today, we are talking about the Seattle Seahawks. After the Seahawks recently had the best draft that they've had in a long time, getting an A according to Pro Football PFF, and also having a busy offseason, the Seattle Seahawks, according to SportsbookReview.com, are only favored in 7 of their games this upcoming year, as they're favorites in the Week 3 matchup against the New Orleans Saints. That's very reasonable as a 6.5-point favorite. Also, they're favored in Week 7 Monday night matchup against Houston, which I'm surprised about that. Also, Week 10's matchup against the Cardinals at home, 1.5-point favorites. Also against the Titans and the Vikings as 1.5-point favorites. And then also the Colts as 3.5-point favorites. And then lastly, the Carolina Panthers as 1.5-point favorites. And then the other matchups that they're not favored in is the 49ers twice, as the first matchup against them in Week 1 is a 1.5-point favorite, which is not bad. Then in Week 18, which is a 4.5-point underdog. And we're even favorite underdogs against the Steelers. I mean, come on, they just got Aaron Rodgers. And then also underdogs against the Cardinals. Don't know why that's the case because we own them. Then the Bucks, I totally understand that, and the Jags. Commanders, obviously, yes. Rams twice. I would have favored us at least in one of those games. One. But then the Falcons, I can kind of see the reasoning behind that one. Question is, are the Seattle Seahawks being disrespected? I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Before we get started, though, if you guys do enjoy this video, do me a favor, smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. For now, let's talk about the Seahawks. The Seahawks, of course they're being disrespected, as is every year appears to be the case. So let me get this straight. So the Seahawks defense, that's going to be a likely top 10 defense next year, and an offense that's loaded with talent. You're telling me that they're only favored in 7 of their games? And not only that, they're underdogs against the Steelers? Are you kidding me? They've got Aaron Rodgers, who we beat, by the way, last year as a member of the Jets. Also, on top of it all, we're only favored in one of the meetups with the Cardinals. We own these guys. We own these guys for breakfast.
Not cool, man. Not cool.
I know that much. And then not only that, you're telling me that we're not even favored in a single game against the 49ers? I'm sorry. Didn't they get a D according to PFF.com?
Hey, genius! It's a jawbreaker! You're never gonna stop!
Yes, they did. I know that because I saw it with my own eyes. 49ers, I get they're a team. I know it's going to be a close matchup, but there's no way that they should be favored in Week 1's matchup against us. It's on the road in Seattle, and there's going to be more Hawk fans than there will be Niner fans. I'm telling you all that right now. Also, on top of it all, how are we not favored against the Rams? We would have beaten them in that first matchup if we didn't beat ourselves. Also, on top of it, I mean, the ones I understand are the Commanders, the Bucks, and the Jags. Those I agree on. The only other ones that I don't agree on is the Niners. We should be favored in at least one of their games. And then also the Rams, we should be favored in one of their games too. And then we should be favored in each game against the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, come on. We own these guys for breakfast. But let me go over some offensive stats for the Seahawks. Last year, they ranked 14th in total offense, only behind the Indianapolis Colts, which I don't even know how they're up in the top 15. And in total passing offense, they rank total of 8th in that category, which was their strong suit, but the run game was their weak point, as they ranked 28th in the league. Hopefully that can change. Scoring defense, the Seattle Seahawks ranked 18th in that category. Also, red zone offense, the Seattle Seahawks ranked 14th in that category, only ahead of the 49ers. Also, along on top of it, third down offense, we ranked 21st in the league, which was not one of our strong suits. Now let's move over to the defense. The defense last year for Seattle ranked 14th in total defense. And then in total passing defense, the Seattle Seahawks ranked 11th, only behind the Patriots and the Dolphins. I don't even know how they're on this list. Then in total rush defense, the Seattle Seahawks ranked 16th in that category, which was not one of their strong suits, but got better with the addition of Ernest Jones. Also ahead of the 49ers by 2 spots. Also, scoring defense, the Seattle Seahawks ranked 11th in that category, tied with the Buffalo Bills. That made the AFC title game. Also, the red zone defense was one of their extreme strong suits, as they ranked 9th in that category. And then in total third down defense, the Seattle Seahawks ranked 10th in that category. But here's what gets it for me. Why are we discrediting the Seahawks? I mean, I know Darnold's a quarterback. I get Darnold's a quarterback. But didn't we go 10-7 last year? I believe we did. We went 10-7 last year, and everyone's acting like we were like 7-10. We were 10-7. Each of the last 3 years, we have been over 500. Every 3 years since, everyone's doubted us. They were thinking we were going to go 5-12, 7-10, 8-9, 6-11. I cannot even begin to tell you what people were thinking, because I read them. I know what I've seen. Let me get this straight. The only game that I have extreme issue with that we're not favored in, how in the world are we not favored against the Pittsburgh Steelers? I'm sorry, but who is their quarterback? Oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
Tomlin! You imbecile!
The bad man, who is actually bad. He's bad. He was garbage last year. And then 49ers. How are we not favored in at least one of those games? Because last time I checked, didn't we beat them in Santa Clara?
Just one sucker!
Seahawks superior, 49ers inferior.
I'll be back! Oh, Monaco.
I believe we did. I believe we did beat them in Santa Clara. And not only that, the defense of Seattle got a whole lot better with the addition of Imamware.
Looky what we have Our time has come.
Dexter Lawrence, not Dexter, DeMarcus Lawrence is a really good piece. I really like the addition of him in free agency. They have offensive talent around the clock. They got JSN, Cooper Kupp, MVS, Troy Horton. You got K9, Charbonnet, Damian Martinez, the rookie. Also along with AJ Barner, Noah Fant, and the rookie Elijah Arroyo. And then the fullback Robbie Gortz from Alabama. Hope I'm pronouncing that name right. And you're telling me that this defense is not going to be in favor in at least 8 or 9 of these games? You have got to be kidding me. Because the Seattle Seahawks, they ranked almost top 15 in every single category. They were top 10 in both third down and red zone defense. They were 11th in scoring defense. They were, let's see, Rushing defense, they ranked 16th. Then passing defense, they ranked 11th. Total defense, they ranked 14th. They were only one of those areas were outside the top 15. That is the run defense. You're telling me that the addition of Memore and Shaq Griffin, as well as other additions they made in the offseason, you're telling me that that's not going to be a top 10 defense next year? That for sure is going to be a top 10 defense next year. Also, the offense, if we look at Sam Darnold, he had Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones. You got similar weapons in place in Seattle. And you are telling me that we are only one. I mean, I respect that we're only 1.5 point favorites. I respect that. But how in the world are we not favored in more of these games? We were 10-7 last year under Geno Smith. And on top of it, we just swapped to another quarterback that was with the Jets, Sam Darnold. Because, see, Geno and Sam Darnold have one thing in common. Drafted by the Jets, thrive somewhere else. In Darnold's case, it was Minnesota. So now, if Geno thrives in Vegas and then Darnold thrives in Seattle, it'll be a win-win. Which I get that the team that's some of the teams in the schedule are tricky. I get that. Falcons, I do believe that they're going to put up a closer fight because of that defense. The defense that Falcons have. Then the Bucks, I already mentioned how scary they are. I had a video on this team. You can all check that out in the link in the description below. The only one that I'm questioning that we're not favored in is one against the Niners and one against the Rams. That's it. None else. Because Niners, how in the world did they get better exactly? They overpaid their general game manager in Brock Purdy. They overpaid their tight end that's not an elite tight end, George Kittle. They overpaid a linebacker that's not Bobby Wagner or Ernest Jones and Fred Warner. And they let go of 6 key defensive players, 2 offensive bombs in Debo and Jordan Mason. And you're telling me that they are favorites in week 1? Are you kidding me? I mean, I know Purdy has a winning record against the Seahawks for now. This doesn't say anything. The 49ers are unproven. They are not a Super Bowl contender. I have said it on the record for a variety of occasions. And the Rams, we would have swept this team if we would have beat them week 1. Because remember, in that week 1 game, in that first matchup the Seahawks had last year, had a 4th and 1 situation. Didn't think to QB sneak. K9 ran it and was stopped by the defense. If they would have done a QB sneak, I guarantee you they would have had a first down and probably would have scored a touchdown and win the game. I guarantee you that would have been the case. Also, Rams just let go of Cooper Kupp. Their second best option. And who do you replace him with? Devontae Adams?
Hurry up! I'm moving as fast as I can. There's a lot of tracks to cover up.
He's a solid wide receiver. He's just not a Super Bowl champion like Cooper Kupp is. And not as good as Cooper Kupp. I'm sorry, but he's not. I get the Rams have a good defense. But what did they struggle with against the Philadelphia Eagles last year? Run defense. And when I look at the Seahawks, their run game should hopefully be a lot better this year. I'm hoping that that's the case. Because they, as I mentioned, they were not built in the run game. They were not built that way very well. The only other one I have questions with is the favoring that we have against the Vikings. I mean, I think we would have beaten the Vikings if we would have been able to stop Darnold on that on defense. But I like some of the games. I believe that we can possibly go 11-6 with only losses at least to the Niners once, Rams once, Bucks, Texans possibly. That's a 50-50 game. Commanders and then Falcons. That's it. That's the only losses I pretty much see. because the Seahawks are better than they were last year. They were better. They are so much better. Their defense is going to be a top 10 unit in the league next year. Their offense is going to, it still got some question marks. We'll see how that turns out. But that defense is going to be a top 10 defense next year. And you're telling me that a first year head coach in Mike McDonald that had a top 10-7 record are only favored in 7 of their games this upcoming year? That is just ridiculous. And I am a bit fed up with this because the NFL media, ESPN, and the NFL network always overlook the Seahawks every single year. They overlook us every time. And look at what has happened. 900 over 500 seasons each of those 3 times. And when I look at the Seattle Seahawks, their defense is going to be a whole lot better next year. And Shaq Griffin, his best times of his career were in Seattle. Those were the best days of his life. He was the best player in the NFL on the Seahawks. He was the best guy. He was one of our best players. And he's going to thrive what Mike McDonald's got in store. So I'm going to tell you all this right now. You better be afraid of the Seahawks because the defense is there. Offense still got a question mark, but the defense is there. And the Seahawks are only going to prove the haters wrong for the 4th straight year. What else you guys think? Do you guys think the Seahawks are being disrespected? Let me know in the comments what you guys think down below. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, do me a favor. Smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, I will see you all in the next one. Ciao for now.